She thought I wouldn't notice at the gala, but the photo said it all. If you've ever sat in a room full of laughter and still felt like a ghost, you'll understand this story all too well. It all began at a corporate fall gala, hosted by my own company, a night that was supposed to celebrate the people who helped us grow, including me. I had helped coordinate everything, from the venue to the catering. I even made sure they offered vegan options for my wife Lena, so she wouldn't have to fake smiles through a plate of lamb or steak. I thought of everything, except for how invisible I'd end up feeling. Our table sat close to the dance floor, where couples laughed, toasted, and shared secret glances across candles and cocktails. But not us. Not me and Lena. She had already stepped away 3 times. Once to greet a coworker, again to compliment someone's dress, and now she was on the balcony with a man she once described as weirdly flirty. His name was Colin. She hadn't looked at me once since we arrived. I sat alone at the table, blazer buttoned too high, napkin folded in a perfect square, a full glass of red wine untouched next to my plate. I wasn't drinking. I just asked the waiter to leave it, so it wouldn't look like I'd been left alone. The music played, some pop remix of a song I used to like, and I watched Lena from across the ballroom. The way she tilted her head when Colin talked, how she touched his arm mid-laugh, leaned just a little too close. I knew that laugh. I used to be the reason for that laugh. My boss clinked his spoon against a champagne glass, calling for a toast. People gathered, smiling and clapping. I stood up too, hoping she'd return to my side. She didn't. I raised my glass anyway, alone. When I looked around after, Lena was gone. Not at the bar. Not in the restroom. Nowhere in sight. Until I saw her again, still on the balcony. Only now it was just her and Colin. No crowd. No excuse. Something inside me stilled. It wasn't rage. Not even sadness. It was the stillness that comes when your body realizes it's done asking questions it already knows the answers to. I walked out of the ballroom quietly. No scene. Just slipping away like a guest at a party where I no longer belonged. I rode the elevator to the lobby and sat near the entrance, watching the minutes pass. 20 minutes later I got the text. "Where'd you go?" Suddenly I existed again. Because she thought I'd left. But I hadn't. Not yet. I went back upstairs, slipped into the gala unnoticed. Just another shadow in a room filled with spotlights. She didn't see me. No one did. From the corner near the dessert table, I had a clear view of her on the balcony. I watched as she twirled her hair behind her ear. Her old nervous/flirty tell, while Colin rested his hand just a little too low on her back. Their heads leaned close. No kiss, but the kind of proximity you save for secrets. The kind of closeness that forgets wedding rings. I didn't storm over. I didn't call her name. I simply pulled out my phone, zoomed in, and snapped a photo. Not for revenge, for proof. For myself. So that tomorrow when she tried to tell me I imagined it, I could say, "No, this happened. I was there." Then I did something strange. I went to our table, picked up her clutch purse and walked out again. This time, I waited at a patio table outside under a heat lamp buzzing overhead. I sent her a text. "Left your bag at the table. Heading out. Congrats on the promotion. You and Colin make a great team." 10 minutes later, she emerged from the building. Alone, glowing, a little too casual for someone who'd been caught in a moment she hadn't planned to explain. When she spotted me, her heels clicked toward me with practiced rhythm. "What's your problem?" she asked. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "I'm sorry." Just, "What's your problem?" I didn't stand. I just looked up at her and said, "You tell me. You seemed happy tonight, just not with me." She rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, Marshall. It was a party. We were just talking." "You're so insecure." That word again. Her favorite weapon. I kept my voice even. "You ignored me for hours. Didn't even clap when they mentioned my name. I walked out and you didn't notice until I was gone. Do you know how that feels?" She folded her arms. I could tell she was choosing between lies, wondering which one I'd believe. You're always making things about you. That's what she said. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just a rough patch. It wasn't a misunderstanding. This was the end. Or at least the beginning of the end. I stood, handed her the clutch and said, "Next time just come alone. It'll save us both the trouble." Then I walked away for good. But it wasn't over. The next morning I couldn't sleep. Not figuratively. I literally sat at the edge of the bed while she slept next to me, soft snores and all. I stared at the ceiling until sunrise. At 5:17 a.m. I gave up trying. Made coffee just to have something to do. Opened my laptop to clear out emails. That's when I saw it. An email thread accidentally forwarded to me. Subject line. Langston Gala photos. Balcony shot. It was from the freelance photographer we'd hired. Because I was listed as part of the planning team, the photos had been CC'd to me too. I opened the attachment. There she was, Lena midlaugh standing far too close to Colin, his hand low on her back. Her head tilted, neck exposed like an open invitation. And in the corner of the photo just barely my face. Blurred. Walking away. But that wasn't the worst part. Beneath the image, Colin had replied. That moment though. And Lena had written back. "Haha, busted. Let's hope my husband didn't notice." She wasn't sorry. She wasn't even worried. She was laughing behind my back, hoping I was still too blind to see it. I didn't go to work. I sat there staring at the screen and made a decision. Not to fight. Not to forgive. But to act. I saved the photo to a USB. Created an anonymous email account. Attached the image with a single line. Just in case this crosses any workplace boundaries. No name. No signature. Sent to her corporate compliance team. That evening, Lena emerged from the bedroom with her hair tied up, phone in hand. "I got an email from HR," she said. Her voice was tense. "They said someone submitted a photo from the event. Said it might be inappropriate." "Weird," I replied, stirring leftovers like nothing happened. She turned sharply. "You think this is funny?" "No," I said. "I think it's overdue." And that's when she said the one word that made everything perfectly clear. Petty. That's what she called me. Not hurt. Not betrayed. Petty. And just like that, the last piece of the illusion shattered. But that wasn't the final blow. 3 days later I received a LinkedIn message. From Colin. "Marshall, I think we need to talk. This situation is getting out of hand." I should have ignored it. I didn't. We met at a coffee shop the next day. He said, "Nothing happened. It was taken out of context." But just as I stood to leave, he slipped. "She told me you already knew about Chicago." Froze. "What about Chicago?" His face went pale. "Wait. You didn't know." Turns out, the gala wasn't the first betrayal. Just the one I finally caught. 2 months before, there had been a conference. 3 days in Chicago. She claimed it was work. She even brought back a souvenir paperweight. I never questioned it. Till now. I drove straight to the office and started digging. Old emails, receipts, shared calendars. It was all there. I just hadn't wanted to see it. And now, I couldn't unsee any of it. So to anyone out there who's ever been made to feel invisible, who's ever been gaslit into doubting their own eyes, you're not crazy. You're not insecure. You're just someone who finally saw the truth. And sometimes, that's all it takes to burn the whole house down.